Hello, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
My name is Rebecca Lavoie.
Rebecca. Welcome to Something's Off. We didn't start off with our theme music today. We're going to try a little something different, but we wanted to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be talking about because we don't normally come on at 3:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday.
No,
So
not
what are we
normally.
talking about?
Today, we're going to be talking about what happened in the opening day of the LINDSAY CLANCY trial. We're also going to be talking about a little news story that has been circulating about the police chief in Stoughton, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And we might touch on a little bit of gossip.
Gossy goss. There were some valid truth journeys happening.
There's some
all over the place.
goss to discuss. I'm not going to lie. I'm interested in all of it. And I did call Aidan Carney and say one word to him: fly paper.
That was hilarious. You
It was
have to
amazing.
admit, though. I enjoyed watching that. I enjoyed that. All right, we're going to talk about everything on the other side of a little break. Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, allegedly. I'm Smart.
Happy Monday, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie. Happy gay summer, Mel.
Happy hump day, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm not humping anybody. I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
Happy Saturday, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
Oh, no.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and my mic is muted.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and that's Briscoe.
And welcome to Something's Off, a true crime podcast where we swat the haters aside with our astute takes and humor and joy. And
the joylessness
I don't give
of those
a fucking
people.
miss.
Hags.
You hear it first in the break in the story. One little crack and the whole thing gets wary. A witness swears but the timeline bends. A smile too smooth and the trail just ends. Mel Barrett says, hold up, look again. Rebecca Lavoie follows every thread. If it feels too neat, then it's not the truth. There's a shadow line running through the room. Something's off, something's off. You can feel it in the bones. Something's off, something's off. When the facts won't come home. Something's off, something's off. And the case won't stay in place. Something's off. We're the ones who chase.
We're gonna go members only.
Yeah, we're the ones who chase. Wait, did that witness just blink 3 times? Something's off. Something's off.
Something's off.
So good.
It's
love
pretty
it so
good.
much.
I mean, we got to work it out. It's a little too long. There's a little too much
Not
talking
the song
in the beginning.
part. Just the beginning
Yeah.
part. Well, we're gonna make a theme song version of it. Don't just use that. We're still playing around. It's really fun.
Figure it out. Can I say, I just want to say thanks to some new members that came in today that are sitting here waiting for us. Irish Goodbyes became a member. Allison 9405 became a member. Colleen became a member. Charos became a member.
Wow.
And Emma became a member. Yeah.
Wow.
We weren't even here. That happened while we weren't even here. So
I'm about to get some boomers, just FYI.
some boomers.
There's a thunderstorm
real
going
dark.
through.
That's
It
good
got
light though right now. The light
so
right now is
dark.
perfect. Yeah.
It got really dark, and Briscoe is literally hiding under my desk, which he only does. He's scared of thunder, and of course he can hear the thunder before I can because of his dog super hearing, and
Yep.
he's literally hiding under my desk, which is the first time he's ever done this.
Let's go, lesbians, let's go.
Let's go, lesbian dogs. Let's go. Peace and harmony in our corner of the world, Mel, except for the flies. Except for the flies.
Oh, the flies. Poor Aidan. That
Lord
was
of the
me
flies.
a few weeks ago. They were a few of them got in the pod with me and they were making me insane. So I get it. But I wasn't chasing them around with some knockoff like Windex being like I couldn't tell. I didn't know what he was doing because I jumped into the stream this morning without having the first fly happen. So he was just like talking. He's like, so anyway, this Gretchen Voss article. And then he's like, get down,
Get down,
motherfucker, get down. Boom, boom. And I was like, what?
Who
I
said
thought he was
get
being
down
attacked.
to a
I know,
fly?
to a fly. Get down. I was like, is there a home invasion? Like, is somebody at the door? Is he like attacking? No, he was running around chasing flies with Windex. And I was just like, what the hell is he doing?
It was such
He'd be
good
talking
content.
about something so serious. And then he'd be like, hold on a second, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's Briscoe's literally between my knees right now. She's under the desk. It's so cute.
Buddy.
He's so scared because we're about to get the boomers. And he does not have his thunder shirt on.
I've never had a dog that was afraid of thunder and lightning, so I
is
have
new
not
to him.
experienced that.
He did not used to be afraid of thunder. This is new. And now if we get a thunderstorm at night, he'll crawl up in between us and between our pillows and like try to get under the covers with us. It's pretty new. But I can't say I hate it. It's cute fear, you know?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean, there's like some things that dogs do that are needy and annoying, but it makes them cute. So you don't care. Like he's like, so yeah, so a couple of things happened on the YouTubes. Can we just get the gossip part out of the way before we get to the sad stuff? Because the sad stuff is deep.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Jimmy did an incredible stream last night that I'd really recommend that people watch. He finally weighed in on some of the gossip that's been going on. And, he talked about sort of the abject cruelty of some of the things that are being said about him online. And it's an interesting way to put it. And it's not off base because when somebody has a pattern of campaigning and they tend to like do things the same way all the time, like he sees it coming. And he's like, I know what this is. This is a warning shot. This was a threat. And I'm about to get this kind of campaign. And he's like, and it's literally to hurt. Like Jess Machado literally said, I bet that stings. And he's like, there comes a point where, tell jokes about people, roast them, whatever. But like when you do it on purpose to be hurtful. And I don't know, it was really sweet. And I recommend watching it because he's a lovely person. I've had nothing but warm interactions with Jimmy. So
I just texted him before we came on.
Same. I texted him earlier today.
It's cute. We're cute. We were talking, and I think both of us have just been so busy, but we were talking about doing that drag race, like roast show, which I think Jimmy and it would be so much fun to do that. But I think we're both also really busy, so it's going to be difficult. So, but we'll see what happens. As for tomorrow, we're doing cross roast tomorrow, our members only cross roast that we do normally on Monday nights. But this last Monday we covered Scott Peterson. So tomorrow we're doing cross roast. We're going to change the time. We're going to go a little bit later because Rebecca had some scheduling conflicts. Not a big deal. Later is probably better anyway. And that's going to be the last stream for Rebecca for the week because she's heading out. She's going on vacation.
I'm going on the vacays.
But then next week we're going to have some special guests, and we're going to be starting the week off with Miss Emily C, who's going to be joining me on Monday, which I'm really excited about. And then Ellen Marie Marsh, and I did mention Sarah Carradine. I never know if it's.
I think it's Carradine, and I say fine because I always think I'm getting it wrong. She's the best.
She is the best from Crime Scene. We've had her on before. She was on with Rebecca when I was in Edinburgh, and I need to reach out to her and schedule something because she's in Australia, so the time is really crazy for her.
She's flexible though. Like she'll do something at 2 a.m. in a way that I would not.
Crazy. No
I'm like one time Kevin and I did a morning talk show on Australian TV, and we had to go to a studio. Like they made us go to a TV studio for the hookup. This is pre-pandemic before everybody was doing everything at home. And it was like their breakfast show. It was like their Today show. And it was like late at night for us. It was wild. Anyway,
maybe I'll try to have Jimmy on. That would be fun. Maybe I could try to convince him to act like you, like be serious,
be like cynical, and be like, come on now.
Yeah, like disagree with me. That would be fun.
I don't really think you're a lesbian.
Me?
I have doubts.
Your doubts are funny.
I know.
This is many decades.
I don't really have doubts. I do not have doubts. And I've met your beautiful partner, so I know that that's real.
I talked to Ellen Marie Marsh this morning for the first time in a really long time. We haven't FaceTimed in a while. Thanks, Amanda, for the 900 jewels and apparently a duckling, but we can't see it because we're in StreamYard. And Ellen and I literally for 20 minutes, half an hour, just talked about conspiracy theories.
We just put out an episode of Civics 101 today about conspiracy theories.
So fun. It was so fun. I forget how much, when Ellen and I get going and we start talking about, things that we've been reading or things that we're thinking, It's always conspiracy theories, and
When I come
it's
back, can we do a roast with her and do some conspiracy theory stuff? I would love to do that.
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
'Cause you know she has favorites, like, she's into them.
Oh no,
And
that's what we were talking about. We were talking about our favorite conspiracy theories.
yeah.
But it's getting to the point where it's no longer just conspiracies, they're just actual theories now.
Mm.
So, yeah, can we get him a Rebecca wig, Joey? Joey,
Probably
Jimmy,
has one.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say Jimmy probably already has a Rebecca wig. Love Emily C. Yes, we love Emily C too. I adore Ellen more than I can express. I've listened to her for probably close to a decade. Love Joey too. Love them both. Okay, so Rebecca tagged me in, like, is it considered tagged on Twitter? Maybe you
Yeah.
added me. You added me on Twitter.
Well,
and
yes.
showed me a fucking shark in the very water that I feel comfortable standing in
It's your
Rehoboth
favorite beach.
I'll go up to my chest in Rehoboth because I don't have any fear of sharks there. And then you showed me I can't go in the water. I'm going to the beach this weekend and I can't go in the
sorry.
water.
That's I didn't realize you were going back there so soon.
I'm going
Because, you know,
back
sharks are seasonal, so.
I'm going this weekend and you sent me a shark video. The beach was cleared. That's my beach. That's where we go. Ugh.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm looking at my beach where we're going next week to see. Nope, no shark sightings.
Carrie said, I had a ticket to the live show where she did the Whitney theory but couldn't go. It's a big regret. You know what? I hate to tell you this, Carrie, but I was at that show and I understand why you have a big regret. You should have a big regret. That was such an interesting show. Ellen did an amazing job. She even had like a PowerPoint.
She loves a PowerPoint.
Yeah, but did you hear her Whitney breakdown, like her Whitney Houston
I have
theories?
heard it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
When she did
Like,
it on the, yeah.
There's some truth to it, I think, but she did a great job. They had some tech difficulties, but she did the whole show, and then for like an hour afterward, she and Rabia hung out and we all talked about everything, and it was really interesting. It was a great show.
If you ever get a chance to go, I'm talking to the audience now, to one of Ellen and Joey's live shows.
Yes.
You must go. There is singing, there is dancing, there is audience interaction. They are so good. Oh, Mel's favorite beach is also the shark's favorite beach, says Cuzco Wright. He liked to stop there for a bite to eat.
I guess Ruby won't be going in the surf with me either because she'll get munched up like a little chicken nugget.
Are there lifeguards at that beach that you go to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if there are sharks, there's no lifeguards at the beach that I go to. Otherwise, lifeguards on Salisbury, but there's no lifeguards on Newburyport. So you're kind of on your own. But like when there are sharks on beaches with lifeguards, very often the lifeguards get like in their talkies, like when I went to Fort Lauderdale, like they got a walkie-talkie thing from a lifeguard down the beach saying, "Shark coming your way."
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh my God. Wendy said, "Wait, Mel, you were at the DC? You were at the DC show?" I was there. I go to every time they come to DC. I stop by to see them. So, yes, if there's a DC show for Ellen and Joey or Ellen and whomever, I'm usually there, because that's my neck of the woods. At least it is now. It used to not to be. Chris Denton said, "You were there, Mel? Which one?" I think it was Robbie and Ellen. They did. Yeah, I think it was the Robbie and Ellen live show. It was the one where they had, I can never remember his name. The political commentator.
Oh, Wahajat Ali?
Yeah, Wahajat was there, and it was really great. It was amazing. Yeah. I'm terrified of sharks, Ray of Sunshine. I'm terrified of them.
Me too.
Saw Jaws when I was a kid.
You know, we have that deep fear in common, which is so great because we have so many other areas where we diverge, where you're like, "Oh my God, that's silly," or I'm like, "Mel, that's silly," but sharks, I don't fuck with sharks.
I made Lindsay watch the Megalodon, the Meg, you know, that movie, the trailer. I made her watch that trailer last week. And I was the one that was like, "Oh, like I can't watch that trailer without, it's terrifying to me. Terrifying." Like when there's a little girl in they're underground where that giant shark is.
Yep.
They're underwater. And that giant shark just comes out of the darkness with its big open mouth and the little girl standing in front of him. Nope. No, thank you.
We have an answer. A stupid question, perhaps. Is this new that the sharks are where they are now? Yes. It's called climate
Yes.
change. The sharks have different
Climate change.
migration patterns. They have different hunting patterns.
I grew
They
up
are-
in New England. I never
They
saw a
used to-
freaking shark.
They used to pass by, like
Yeah,
Long
it's too
Island, New
cold.
England, whatever. They used to just pass it by on their way to like warmer waters or on their way to cooler. And now it's like the temperature is good for them. Plus, the feeding isn't as good because of climate change in the places they used to hunt. So now they're looking for new places to hunt. Just sort of like how the whales, and by the way, I am team orca on this one, now keep capsizing boats.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're coming for me. They're looking for me is what they're doing. They're looking for me in the water.
Maybe try freshwater beaches. I go to beach in Lake Winnipesaukee, but the lake is black. I don't like swimming in dark water. It's a problem for me, mostly because of sharks. My fear of sharks, which I know there's no sharks in the lake. I know that. But they sell lobster rolls at the lake. And I'm like, you guys know there are no lobsters here, right? You're not fooling us. But like the water's all black and I don't like diving into black water. I have to like ease in backwards and float.
The people who go into shark cages, Cuzco says we need to raise funds for a shark cage for Mel so she can go in the water again. No, thank you. The people who go into shark cages to like document them are not, something's wrong. Something's very off in their brains.
I swam with sharks. So I don't know how I was able to do this. I think my fear of sharks has really increased since all the new sightings in New England. So I was really scared of them as a kid. And then when I got older and I sort of understood like the food chain and the importance of sharks and how rare it is that people were actually bitten by sharks, I got a little bit more comfortable. And we went to Grand Cayman when Henry was like 15. So this was like 10 years ago with all three kids when they were like teenagers. And the resort we were staying at, which is where Army Hammer sold timeshares, had a dock that wasn't part of the resort, but it was at the resort where the fishing boats would come in. They would do fishing charters off the dock. And when everybody said, when the fishing boats come back at night, a bunch of little sharks follow the fishing boat and you can swim with them because they're full because they've been eating all the clean fish, like chummy stuff, and they just hang out. They're not interested in you because there's like plenty of like fish stuff in the water. So I did it. And it was such a mistake. That actually may have really cemented that. So I did it. I went out there. We met these people there. They had a GoPro, and the fishing boat guy was like, "Don't worry unless they start circling and flicking their tails."
What?
And
what are you supposed to do?
So I went in. And
were you holding a spear?
I was completely fine. And then I was wearing my snorkel was like yellow. It was some color, I guess, that they like. I don't know. So the shark went past me and then it turned around and came right back at me and it went like with its tail. And I was like, I'm out of here. So I got out and then the person, I have the video somewhere. I was really big at the time. So it's really fun to watch. The person who took the GoPro of me, like 100% two sharks were like circling around me. So that cemented it for me. And I could not do the shark thing again. Nope.
M. Danger Riley.
You hear that?
Yeah, I did. As a diver, I've encountered sharks. If you encounter one, flip their body upside down because it completely disorients them. How are you supposed to flip a shark's body upside down and not get bitten? How do you keep away from the mouth and the devil eyes? Like
the big black devil eyes.
I can't. The black eyes are what scare me.
On each side of its head. Like we should be sharks for Halloween.
I feel like I could do like an alligator kind of thing where you figure out a way to close the mouth and hold it closed, but it's the eyes. I feel like if I look into the eyes, like that's like looking into the eyes of Charles Manson. That's what I think.
It's worse. It's worse because Charles Manson didn't kill everybody, and a shark will bite you.
From what I've heard, sharks don't hurt everybody. But
that's true. But
I mean,
you could talk to Charles Manson and maybe get him to not be interested in killing you. You can't reason with a shark.
Not if he sucks my soul out with his eyes. I've watched so many videos about how to physically beat a shark if it's attacking you. Like
punching it in the nose.
Like everything, grabbing its eyes and pulling them out and like sticking my hands in his fins and his gills. And like, I have done some major, like, what's the class you take? Like the boxing class for women?
Like a self-defense class?
Like, yeah, I've watched all the self-defense videos for shark attacks, so I know what to do.
Lady Harlot says, raise your hand if you've been personally injured by sharks.
My soul.
Psychologically.
Thank you.
LMAO, why are we talking about sharks? Because I sent Mel a video of her favorite beach where there was a white shark sighting. And because I'm going on vacation
On the shore.
next week on the shore to, I'm going to a place in Massachusetts where there have not been any shark sightings this year, but in the past there have. It's not the Cape. You couldn't catch me swimming off the Cape. I wouldn't do it for
Nope.
$10,000.
There was
I
a
would
shark
not do
at
it.
York Beach, Maine. That's
know.
my other beach, my 2 beaches. Debbie has became a member last week, and we did not a few days ago, and we did not say thank you because we didn't see it. But I'm saying thank you now. Thanks for becoming a member, Debbie.
Sharks are annoying, but guess what is worse for some? Flies.
Flies.
Says V7.
Facts.
Get
Facts.
down.
Okay.
Get down.
I think we've exhausted the shark topic.
Yeah, we were actually talking about gossip before that, but yes,
Yeah.
Turtle Boy and Nurse Kim spoke. They seem to have worked stuff out. That sounds great. Jimmy did a valid truth journey that I would highly recommend watching. And Aidan Carney needs flypaper. Just one piece is all you need. You hang it up. It's disgusting. It completely works though.
But look, I have a whole box right here. I could just send him one. There's like 10 in here. Fly strips.
You see, he used our mug on his stream this morning.
I did not. I didn't notice that. I was just
listening. It was good product
to
placement. I sent him mug on purpose because I was like, he'll use this on his podcast that reaches a lot more people. So did you hear that, Mike? I am part of a cult for clicks and money, Mike.
Okay, but my favorite part of that tweet that you're talking about, you can bring that up if you want to bring it up while I'm talking about it. My favorite part of that is he was saying that you are in a cult, but he used my tweet. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but I think he was talking about you, and by extension, he was talking about me.
Yeah, but that's fucked up. We're not one person.
That's true. You know what? We're not. We are two different
I was like, I wanted to be like, well, why is he using my tweet? And he didn't even like retweet it. He obviously took a screen grab of it, so I wouldn't know that he retweeted it, which is so stupid. Sam said this is really cute. My shark obsessed son went as Chief Brody for Halloween a few years ago, and I was his Jaws. That is a top-notch Halloween costume.
That's adorable.
Okay, I love Chief Brody.
Here it is. So you tweeted, we're at almost 11,000 subs. Please check out the channel and sub, like, comment, join. We laugh a lot because we talk about really hard shit most of the time. And then Mike said, she joined a cult, but hey, it's profitable. And then I said, hey, everyone, I'm in a cult. Congrats to me. I've been working toward this ever since I started writing about crime in 2007 and started my first podcast in 2015. I've never felt more alive. Never.
And I also responded. I don't know where it is. I also responded.
Mike is wild, man. He's both sides in the Karen Reed case. It's wild.
Yeah, that's weird. These people who are like, because they're pissed off at Aidan, who are
tiptoeing around Karen Reed guilterism and tiptoeing around and sometimes saying that Aidan is guilty and should go to jail. Like, what are you doing?
That's weird. That's real weird. I also responded to it and I said, where did it go? I said, yeah, forget about the 12 years of investigative work I did on the podcast AP named in its top 10 new pods of 2025, which led to a decades-old case getting shot at a new trial. Yeah, you're right. I'm just a brain-dead cultist.
I'm in a cult.
I'm in a cult. We're in a cult, obviously.
We should make some cult merch. We should make a cult symbol. We should just say.
We should just do like a little, like, you know how you did the little duck on the hats? Do you want to show everybody? Those are new hats.
They're so cute.
We should do a turtle like the duck.
I don't want to use the turtle imagery. I want to nod to the cult without being too on the nose about it. You know what I mean?
Fine.
So maybe we make a shirt that says like, this is a cool cult, or hold on one second. Art, something's off. Art.
Amanda said no more beef for Mel. Don't go, lesbians. Don't go. Oh, there's Jimmy.
That's the front of the hat right there. So cute, right?
Oh. So cute. I love that duck. I love it.
It's so cute. And this is the back of the hat. That's the front of the hat. That's the back of the hat. That's the front of the hat. Yeah, I love it. Because if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, guess what? She's a duck.
She's a duck. Okay.
Oh, one correction here. Calamity Jane, Let's Drink the Kool-Aid. It was actually Flavor Aid that Jim Jones made everybody drink. Just FYI. Fun
Flavor
fact.
Aid. Also, another fun fact from Teacup, Julia Child helped develop a recipe for a shark repellent. I did not know that. I have visited her kitchen, though, and it was amazing. That old stove. Ugh,
Do you go in Massachusetts?
Yeah. It was at the museum. I forget which museum it was at, and they had recreated her entire kitchen, and it was just so amazing. It was so amazing.
She was an amazing person.
She really
I have
was.
the Julia and I have 2 of the Julia and Jacques cookbooks. Love them. Yes, and she was in the OSS, the precursor to the CIA.
Every time Unused Baron area watches us, they get confused who's who.
Really?
Oh, that's because we don't have our little names up. That's weird.
You fixed it.
I did?
I see my name. Don't you see your name?
Oh, I was looking for it lower. There it is. There's our name.
I'm Rebecca.
That's who we are. I'm Mel.
I'm Rebecca. Mel is Mel.
Ski Pole Nancy, Jimmy's channel is Auntie Deb, and I think it's 3 B's or 2 B's. I can't remember.
I think his channel is just 1 B.
Oh, okay. All right. Can you tell me what's going on in Stoughton?
Oh my
Stoughton,
God.
Massachusetts.
Girl. Okay. So here's what's going on. So the Stoughton police chief.
Hold on. Can I just say this one comment?
Yes.
Amanda said Rebecca doesn't want the chat named, but wants a Clut logo.
I do want a Clut logo.
I don't know but a Clut logo is good.
Yeah.
I know that's
100%.
a typo, but the word Clut is a good one, and I'm going to use it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, but Clut is a good word.
Okay. So in Stoughton, which of course is the town where Sandra Birchmore and so that sort of case kind of happened. Okay. Sandra Birchmore lived in Canton, but William Farwell was a Stoughton police officer, and the Stoughton Police Department is problematic. The Stoughton police chief, Donna McNamara, says that she has, raised allegations against the town manager, this guy named Tom Coulter, and she's being retaliated against. She's filed a lawsuit against the town of Stoughton and Coulter, alleging, I'm reading right now, breach of contract, discrimination, and a coordinated effort to remove her from her position. She alleges the town removed her from her role without following procedures required under her contract. Now, she says the reason why this guy retaliated against her was because she cooperated with a federal investigation into Matthew Farwell, which she says will now they should prompt investigations of other current town employees, current police officers and former police officers. And she says that this guy Coulter wants to just shut the whole thing down. Now, I often read these things with a little bit of cynicism, because as much as we always want to believe, like when somebody complains about being fired out of retaliation or whatever, as somebody who has worked in corporate America for a long time, I can tell you honestly that sometimes people get fired for reasons, and they also might have a complaint about a thing. And that's actually really common. It's kind of common for, people to get fired or whatever. And it's like, then they have this very compelling public case about why they were fired. But what's happened now is there's a lot of corroboration stepping up. And I'm not saying like, I believed her. I just know that workplace stuff sometimes can be more complicated than a lawsuit says, or than a public statement by a company says. Okay.
Sure. Yep.
The firefighters have now stepped up and said, we support her, and we've experienced the same behavior from this guy Coulter. So the town manager is an employee. My friend used to do HR for the town of Salem, and the town manager is not elected. It's a hired person who's basically like hired to run the business of the town. So they are the boss of the police department, the boss of the fire department, the boss of the DOT, the boss of all of these things. And it's, it's a big job, and it's a job with responsibilities. They help negotiate union contracts, all that stuff. Town managers they can have an outsized amount of power when it comes to employee issues. Town managers in places with problematic police departments are sometimes the barrier to police being investigated, because ultimately they're the boss. And so like something might come up to them and they'd be like, no, sorry, because they know what their city can afford or not afford or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so this is one to watch. This lawsuit is one to watch, because she says this guy asked her to destroy stuff related to the Sandra Birchmore case.
Shit.
And she says that he has been really anti finding justice for Sandra Birchmore. And it seems like she's all for it. Like she's like, go ahead, investigate these guys. Because we know there are more guys. We know it. I mean, Matthew Farwell's twin brother also groomed and essayed Sandra Birchmore. And I'm calling it essay because even if she thought it was consensual when she was very young, it was not. I mean, it just wasn't.
No.
So,
No.
even if it was a consensual sexual relationship, it was a highly inappropriate sexual relationship. So there was his twin brother. There was that school resource officer guy. There was that other cop guy. There was the military recruiter guy.
Yeah.
So
do you think that based on what's happening in Stoughton, that the FBI still has this case open and that then it's also crossing over into Karen Reed?
Yes. I think this case is still being actively investigated. It's interesting because the bar for Farwell's conviction in the federal level is high. They have to prove that she would have told somebody about what was going on because, they're prosecuting him under the killing of a witness statute. Very, very broad strokes. So instead of just having to prove the murder, which I think would be very easy to prove, given his electronic communications and so forth, and him being on camera, walking in and out of her apartment at the time of the death. There's a good case there for murder, but because it wasn't prosecuted in Norfolk County, the feds have to make it fit under a federal statute, and that's harder to prove. So she's cooperative. She wants to continue to be cooperative. And so E. Brune, it says, I thought she had told people about him. So in one of the FBI's filings, in one of the federal prosecutors' filings in the case, it was intimated that she had made contact, maybe with law enforcement. It's hard to tell by the way that it's worded, so I don't want to read too much in it. But police misconduct, police corruption, that is something that the feds can look into. I agree. It can't be consensual. I'm just I said that conservative thing for the people who would just immediately tune it out. I'm just trying to be inclusive for thought, even though, yes, she was essayed because there was a power imbalance and she was groomed as a child.
And the power imbalance carried on into her adulthood, and it was still not consensual because she had been groomed specifically for that man and his brother and Divine. So anything that happened with those three men in particular, she was groomed to do that,
Yeah. And it's pretty clear that she had come from the communications that she had come to equate violent sex with love, which is what happens when you groom a person who is vulnerable, which she is. She was a vulnerable person. And she was very young. And when she started, and she was, I agree. She was trafficked, tall red. And she, had a tough life. She didn't have all the opportunities in the world that could be afforded to a person. I think the feds are still involved. I think one of the reasons for all the Farwell delays could be because there's continuing investigation and because they know that when they turn up more evidence on Farwell before trial, they will also be turning up more evidence against other people. So,
I thought also, going back to Aidan's stream really quickly, he was sort of breaking down how Gretchen Voss's article is actually helpful to him.
Yes.
And one of the points that he made that I found very interesting is that Brian Albert is quoted in the piece, or at least paraphrased in the piece, as saying, I knew I wasn't something along the lines of, I knew I wasn't a witness, I was a suspect.
They saw me as a suspect. Yep.
I was a target of this investigation.
Yep.
So the fact that that's now in writing, of Brian Albert and Colin Albert realizing they are targets of this investigation and no longer just witnesses in a case, that's not going to help them. That's going to be bad for them. I think even in front of a judge like Gilday, that's not going to be great for them.
It's not, because the premise of their entire suit is that everything that happened to him was because of Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. That's the premise. And they were laying the foundation for some of that in that article. You can tell what some of their arguments are going to be about these weird. I really think even Gilday would think it was a broad stretch that a guy who goes by Turtle Boy on the internet was colluding with the Department of Justice. Like,
Yeah.
that's a stretch.
It's ludicrous. And that's why I'm saying, like, I fear that Gilday would parse out or not, or then all of a sudden he's not interested in what a magazine article has to say. Like, it's one of those things. But if that were put in front of him, if they use quotes from that piece that say Brian Albert knew he was a target and not a witness, he can't parse that out. That's what it says. And it's either that or she has to say again, she was wrong to say that. So she would have to do another correction.
And also, he also asked the great question, which is who is the FBI former FBI agent? Yeah.
You think it's Coffin Danner? Coffin Daffin?
It could be Coffin Daffin. It
It
could be Coffin Daffy. It could be Coffin Daffy.
He made the good point, though, that if it was Coffin Daffy, that she would want credit, and so she would use her name. But as soon as he was reading it aloud, I was like, "Oh, that's Coffin Daffer, Coffin Daffin,
Coffin Doofus,
Daffer. So that one's interesting too, and it was somebody who was in the anti public corruption.
Yes,
right.
So they say yes.
Yep. All right. We're gonna keep an eye on that one for sure. And they're having a private hearing, a town hearing on Friday. So we won't have access to it unless somebody can go to it.
In Stoughton.
But if somebody goes to it, they're not going to be able to stream, right? It's still going to be private.
Maybe, yeah. So Rebecca, did you hear I gave you a shout out on the Turtle Chat this morning? I did. You asked him if he agreed with me that Judge Gilday needs to recuse himself because his actions in the one case display bias about Turtle Boy, and he's overseeing another case where Turtle Boy is a defendant. And he said something along the lines of, well, I'm not going to say what we're planning, but Rebecca might be onto something. So,
okay, I'm going to address this. I'm not sure how many times I have to say that Pam Smart is a statutory rapist for people to understand that it was SA what happened between her and Billy. I've said it in 2 different live streams multiple times that was a power imbalance and it was inappropriate and that it was sexual assault and that she is a statutory rapist, except she's never been charged as that, but that's what I'm calling her in my own words. And so I don't know how many, I don't know why we can't see the nuance here.
And she's been in jail for she's been in jail for 35 years, which is
on 36 years.
So I think that the idea that you wouldn't have other issues with her incarceration and the way that the trial went on and all that stuff because she committed this other crime. It's kind of wild, actually. I just listened to a really good podcast about a guy who didn't commit a crime. Which was it? It was the Marshall Project. It was a new serial podcast.
Oh, okay.
And it's a guy who's on death row, and he has like 12 weeks. They have 12 weeks where they follow the death row appellate team who's trying to get this guy's death sentence either commuted or reversed or whatever to get him to not die. And it becomes pretty clear that the investigation was completely botched. He probably didn't do it, yada, yada, yada. But he does admit to being a rapist, serial rapist. Mm-hmm. And it's an interesting podcast because part of you, the listener, is like, oh, don't we we should throw people like this away or whatever, right? Like that's the instinct. Yeah. I mean, we have that sort of very American revenge justice instinct where, and it's like, but he didn't do a death row crime.
Well, and
so we're going to execute him for something else he did that doesn't rise to that level. That's very wrong. It's like very, very wrong. So
the nuance I want to talk about here, just briefly, we're not here for this. The nuance is the umbrella of it is that I believe it was improper. It was unhealthy. It was sexual assault. It was statutory rape. I believe all those things. But in the state of New Hampshire, statutory is 16 years old. Okay. If Pamela Smart had done that to more than just Billy, if it had been Billy and Pete and JR and Raymond and Cecilia, and she had had a sexual relationship with all of those kids, I would say put her away forever. She seems like a predator. And I'm not, this is again where I'm not saying that this is okay. What I'm saying is they had inappropriate sexual relations 2 to 3 times over the course of a few weeks, and it was over. That does not mean you get to spend the rest of your life in prison without the possibility of parole. But a lot of the time, what I feel, in my opinion, is that people want her buried under the jail or hanging in the town square because she had this inappropriate relationship. And I have to call it relationship. I'm not saying that it was, because I'm using the word relationship, doesn't mean that like they had a consensual, happy, healthy relationship. I'm saying it as in I have a relationship with my postal worker who I talk to every day. Well, my point is that if she had actually been a predator, which she was not, because a predator would probably also go to prison and keep trying to do the same thing that they'd been doing outside of the prison walls. She's not doing that. She was 22. He was 15. She was 21. He was 15, and then 22 and 16. And what she did was wrong. She herself admits that. And she herself has said it's as if she pulled the trigger herself because of the inappropriate relationship she had with Bill Flynn. I am not going to call her a predator, nor am I going to call for her to die in prison because she did a very dumb thing, and she did that with a person who was under the age of 18. That's the nuance of it. That's my bottom line. So anytime I'm talking about an inappropriate relationship, there were a bunch of people in the Facebook group saying that I wouldn't say the same thing that I'm saying about Pamela Smart if the kid had been a woman. So like Sandra Birchmore. That's incorrect. I call inappropriate relationships and grooming behavior and predatory relationships as I see them. And I have always said that what happened between Bill and Pam was inappropriate and it's statutory. I don't know why I have to keep saying it, honestly.
It's not a prison for life crime. Okay. But, if she did in fact contract the killing of her husband, that is a prison for life crime. That's not what we're talking, but that's not what's in dispute. What's in dispute is the process by which she was convicted.
But not in the state of New Hampshire.
Right. So can we just get back to something that I think is really important before we get to the real dark stuff?
Yes, but can I just put this up really quickly? Because
Sure.
Papser said, "Clut, crime lesbians uncover task force."
Sorry. That's so loud.
Clut, crime
Loud.
lesbians uncover task force. You're not in this club though, Rebecca. Sorry.
I can't be in that club. I'm not a lesbian.
Lebanese. Oh my God.
Shout till it stinks. So
This
when
is
the
so
fruit is
loud.
past my
So loud. We don't know the music. Look at this.
Somebody made some AI of TB. That is really funny.
Is that
That's
AI?
pretty much
Or
what
did
he was
someone
doing.
take a video of him doing that?
No,
I
of course
can't
that's AI. That's AI. Look how he's hitting the counters, and also look how his legs are moving.
Oh, we'll
It's
find
AI.
out.
It's AI. See? To everybody in the chat, tell Rebecca the boomer this is AI.
No, that yet is AI. Look at the fly. Of course it is. It's very funny though. It's very funny. Dude needs some fly paper. Anyway, that's pretty classic. Okay. By the way, there is a Jolene Lunzer stream coming up at 6:15 about the jump scare.
What jump scare?
You know what I mean? The jump scare.
I don't. What are you talking about?
You know what I mean,
I don't know
Mel.
what you're talking about.
I think you know.
He was talking to that fly like it was a dog. I thought he was talking to a human intruder. Like somebody was breaking through into that jump scare. But that doesn't even have the eyebrows on it. Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh, why is it popping up on my screen like that?
It's
Attacking
a jump
me.
scare. That's not it. It's a jump scare. Anyway. So I think that Jolene's going to be discussing that at 6:15. So we got to make sure we're done well before then, so I can prepare.
Okay. Well, We started at 3:30. We've got a little ways to go. Okay, so I don't know how you want to do this. If you want me to talk you through it, I'd like to watch a little bit of it. I don't want to watch the entire openings. They're not that long. How do I want to do this? I want to
I
show
would
you.
play excerpts instead of, yeah, I'd play excerpts to sort of demonstrate the things that you want to talk about, because I watched all of court yesterday.
Okay.
I watched the whole
Okay,
thing.
good. And I wanted to tell you that I'm using East Idaho News, our guy that did the Corey Richins case, because I really love his coverage. There's no commentary on this, but I wanted to use his because
I
think
like
he's
him. I like him too. And I'm not sure, like, I mean, maybe if he's actually a shitty person, I kind of don't want to know. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't
because
either. Yeah.
I
Ugh.
enjoy the fact that he is doing what he does in such an earnest way and just seems so thorough about it.
Yeah. Shauna, I felt the same way. I literally thought there was a giant animal or a human being that had run into the house and was attacking him.
It was a fly.
Ray of Sunshine, do not feel bad. I'm sorry if I came off as like annoyed. It's because every single time I talk about Pamela Smart, I end up having to talk about that. And that's not what my investigation and what my focus has been on. Thank you for the $5. You didn't have to do that. I feel so bad for making you have to say all that. It wasn't my intention. I promise. I asked the question wrong. Please take that as part of my apology.
I would counter that in one way.
What?
I would say, this is what you are going to be facing for the rest of your life when you talk about this case. So I think that coming up with a concise, snappy way to respond to it that isn't ungracious, like you just did, is something that you should feel very comfortable with. And I think that you handle it very well. So,
well, thanks. I do talk about it a lot. It is always the thing people focus on. And I don't think that it is the focus. It shouldn't be the focus. Anyway, yes, Nate Eaton is amazing. Ashley, did you take my screen off? Did you add this up again? Why are you putting the eyebrows on it?
Because I wanted you to jump. I wanted to scare you again. Sorry.
Oh my God. We did have a good members only last night about Scott Peterson. That was fun.
It went off the rails a few times.
Tomorrow on Crossroads, we're going to be doing either Yuri, Higgins, or Brian Albert.
I can't lose. This is a no-lose situation.
That's what I was going for.
Zero lose situation. I'm hoping.
All right. I am going to.
Hold on, I'm praying to the gods for the one I want.
I think I know who you want. I think I know. All right. I'm going to start with the prosecution's opening statement. This is Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We are back is this Norfolk? Yeah, this is Norfolk County, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
Yes. No, it's Plymouth. It's Plymouth.
Is it?
I think so. Hold on.
I think it's Norfolk.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Plymouth.
Anyway, the judge is friggin' amazing. And I have to say, I think the judge,
Plymouth.
I'm not playing, it is Plymouth. Okay. I'm not playing any of the judge's instructions to the jury. But what I will say is that the judge and Kevin Reddington have the same personality. And so the way that Kevin Reddington delivers his opening is sort of the way the judge delivers his jury instructions. And I think they're both amazing. Judge Sullivan, yeah. Okay, here we go. This is just, I'm going to only play you a little bit of the prosecution. I think they only went for like 5 minutes or something like that.
It was dirty business.
It was dirty business. Starts right off the bat, just shitty. Here we go. Play. Why aren't you playing?
Cora. She had just turned 5. She was sweet, silly.
Hold on. The volume's not all the way up. So she starts right off the bat and she says, Cora, sweet, silly.
Smart. She loved sparkly dresses and wearing bows in her hair.
She lit up a room.
Princesses and baby dolls. She even tried to convince her preschool teachers at the beginning that her name was Sophia because she loved the Disney character.
She has no personality.
So very much. Dawson.
Oh, shut up.
He was 3. A boy's boy. He was a bit rambunctious, but funny, full of energy. He loved trucks.
No one is saying these kids deserve to die, lady.
No.
and he spoke with a raspy little
Like,
voice.
You can tell where they're
Callan.
going with this.
Callan was just 8 months old.
That's not the same prosecutor, though. They're
Always
two
smiling,
female prosecutors,
chunky
two women.
cheeks, a
Isn't this
sweet
the
little
second
baby.
chair lady?
Yeah.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, poor.
because
ugh.
they are not. They were strangled, deliberately and meticulously
Ugh.
killed by this defendant.
The people that are saying she's faking it can suck a bag of dicks.
I just can't imagine anybody. It's such an unbelievably transparent case of psychosis.
Yes.
And anybody, I don't know if there's any way to boost courtroom sound. I don't know if we can do
Yeah.
that.
Let me see if I can take it. Let me see if I can get it from Law and Crime. I think theirs was a little bit louder. Go ahead.
I don't, there's like a culture of like celebrating lack of empathy in the world right now, swirling around the world. And
Yep.
one of the reasons why I so loved like talking about the Karen Reed case was that a lot of people that I saw exhibiting lack of empathy for others, like on their social media, were able to find empathy for this defendant, right? And I'm seeing some of those same people finding a tremendous amount of empathy for LINDSAY CLANCY, and it brings me so much hope. But
Yeah.
there are people for whom empathy is just like a foreign concept.
Yep.
The idea that anybody could think that this is not a completely outrageous prosecution. This woman is in hell and will be for the rest of
Rest
her
of her life.
life. And
Yep.
she wants to go to a psychiatric facility. She's not going to be walking around free if she's acquitted of these murders.
She's not going to be walking around, period.
She's not going to walk around. Exactly. She's in a wheelchair. She's a paraplegic, and she killed her children, and she knows it. And she's no longer in the postpartum psychosis state. She's just now going to be miserable in hell for the rest of her life. The idea that it would somehow benefit the state of Massachusetts residents to try her, it's
Yep.
disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And folks who just can't see beyond that, like, it really makes me angry. Makes me angry.
Yeah, and there are some people out there who are also blaming her husband, or her ex-husband, Patrick. They're saying that
Who's
he
such
should
a
have known.
lovely guy.
And like, he should have known. He did know, and she was communicating with him. Everyone knew. That's the problem. Everyone knew. And she had a couple of good days, which the doctors should have told them could happen as well. Like, changing her meds. She might seem okay. You got to still keep an eye on her, that kind of thing. Instead, they just kept shipping her off with more meds and take it off this meds and put you on this meds and do all these things. And you'll see this. I won't show it on the screen because it's too graphic. But in the defense's opening, Kevin Reddington puts up like blown up pictures of Lindsay's injuries and the cuts that she gave to herself. I can't believe she survived them. But the idea that you're going to see this in a moment, the prosecution is pushing that it was a fake suicide attempt.
She threw herself out of a fucking window
after she
slit her own throat
and downed a bunch of pills. Did you see the picture with the cup that says "because kids"? I mean,
I think I wouldn't be surprised if the cops staged that photo. Just saying. But yes.
Well, it did have remnants of, the stuff that she drank from it. And then she jumps out the window. I don't understand what the Commonwealth is thinking here, but okay, let me bring this back up. Hold on. Okay, tell me if you can hear this a little bit better. Let me make sure the volume's up. Is the volume up all the way?
It is.
Okay.
She had just turned 5.
It's better.
She was sweet, silly, smart. She loved sparkly dresses and wearing bows in her hair. She loved princesses and baby dolls. She even tried to convince her preschool teachers at the beginning that her name was Sophia because she loved the Disney character Sophia the First so very much. Dawson. He was 3, a boy's boy. He was a bit rambunctious, but funny, full of energy. He loved trucks, construction trucks, fire trucks. and he spoke with a raspy little voice. Callan. Callan was just 8 months old. Always smiling with chunky cheeks, a sweet little baby.
I also hate that court TV is calling this the accused killer mom trial. Like,
they always have to give something a stupid name, like
stupid.
The nanny murder. It's like, it's fucking knockout.
All right, I'm going to skip through past the kids stuff.
Testimony of witnesses, family, friends, teachers, people who knew the Clancy family, people who saw them regularly, people who saw them on the day in which this defendant killed them. They're all going to come before you. And it may be heartbreaking to hear what they have to say. You'll see photographs of the crime scene. You'll hear testimony from first responders. They're going to tell you about what they discovered when they came into the Clancy home at 47 Summer Street in Duxbury on January 24th. You'll hear evidence about the defendant during that time period, observations of her physical appearance, her demeanor. You'll hear testimony about what she was reporting to her friends and family and doctors during this time period. The list of witnesses is quite long. Law enforcement, firefighters, friends, family, teachers, crime scene investigators, forensic scientists, toxicologists, medical examiners, experts. We expect over the next few weeks that you will be able to, or will be able to present to you a clear picture of what was occurring in the Clancy household on January 24th of 2023. We ask that you keep an open mind when you're hearing this evidence, and during the course of the trial, don't forget that you use your common sense and your life experience. Those are things that you bring as jurors to the courtroom every day, and it's what's going to take you into the deliberation room at the end of this trial. So what happened? On January 24th, 2023, it had recently snowed. It was in fact a Tuesday.
Okay. We won't go through all of that, because basically what she says is their whole case falls into this 9 mile or 9 minute. I can't remember if it's minute or mile. They basically are saying because Lindsay wanted Patrick to go pick up dinner because she hadn't made dinner. She was having a really good day, but she had been busy all day. She had actually taken the kids to a doctor's appointment. She'd been outside making snowmen while Patrick was down in his home office in the basement working. And at night, she hadn't gotten to the place where she had planned anything for dinner. So she asked him if he wanted to do takeout. She goes on to her phone or her computer, I'm not sure which device it was, and she looks up a restaurant for pickup for food. And I think it's 9 minutes away. And so the defense is saying she did that because she wanted to find a place that was close enough that he wouldn't be gone for very long, because she didn't want to be home alone with the kids. The prosecution, their entire case,
because they were hungry.
Well, but this is what the defense is actually saying. I mean, they say it in the civil case, but the prosecution and to me, in my opinion, their entire case hangs on that one search, because what they're saying is Lindsay chose a restaurant they had never ordered takeout from before. They had been to the restaurant with the kids. They'd been there many times, but they'd never ordered takeout. It wasn't their regular takeout spot. And so she was looking for a place where she could map out and time how long he would be gone. And then the second part of their case is that he called her while he was out, and it was after she had unalived the children. And it was a very quick, I think 15-second phone call, which, hey, guess what, guys? A 15-second phone call can happen, and so can a 22-second phone call. Just putting it out there. And in that 15 or so second phone call, he said, "Where are the kids?" And she said, "In the basement." And those two things are what the prosecution, I think, is hanging their hat on. Because what they're trying to say is they're really trying to prove premeditation. They're trying to prove intent. And they're trying to disprove that she was suffering psychosis of any kind.
I just want to make it extremely clear for folks. If the voices in her head were telling her to send her husband out of the house so that she could do this to herself and the kids,
yes,
that is still not murder, because the voices in her head told her to do that. That is not premeditated first degree murder, or second, whatever she's being charged with. This is it is so upsetting that there would even be a theory where she's like, I gotta send him out of the house so I can
Well, I mean,
do this super fun thing when he's not here.
She did take
Disgusting.
selfies while she was in the hospital, and she did go down a water slide. So she was perfectly fine, Rebecca.
Who doesn't, by the way, when they go to the emergency room? I just saw Lindsay Gaetani went to the emergency room and took selfies in the emergency room. Everybody does that to be like, look where I am. Not gonna fucking believe where I am.
I think that the garage stuff people are asking in the chat. So there was testimony, and I think she even brings this up in the opening, that after she details what her postpartum situation was like after each child. And for the first child, I think it was, she went on sort of a manic reorganizing. I mean, they asked Patrick about it like in depth, and it's just really isn't important. Because if she is bipolar, which the defense is saying she is, then having a manic episode after you've given birth is completely normal for a bipolar person.
100%.
And they're saying she went out and she organized the garage and she had to have everything under her control. And this woman in the opening says, you know, all she wanted was control, and she didn't think anybody could take care of the kids as well as she could, which is why she unalived them. And then she unalived herself because she didn't even trust that Patrick could do it. I'm like, you guys are disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
but she's also upset she's not going to have a nanny anymore. Like, what?
Yeah, they were trying to make the point that every time she was almost done with her maternity leave after every child, she would start getting really anxious because she had to go back to work. And they were saying that this was really just about her not wanting to have to go to work. She just wanted Patrick to be like the breadwinner and she could stay at home with the kids. Not fucking true. I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit here, just so you can hear the snark of this woman and the bullshit. Okay, here we go.
And she confirms that they actually have it at their local CVS in Kingston.
No, we're still talking through the night.
And she proceeds with hers.
Look at this poor woman.
She goes to the second floor master bedroom.
Okay, I'm not going to detail that.
First responders arrive to the home almost immediately. He's still on the phone.
Look how mad Reddington looks.
We're persistent.
You know what I think? Sorry to interrupt this. One of the things that I think Reddington does really well, and I think it must be for his nature and anyone's nature, really, probably one of the most difficult things. He is not comforting her at all. He never comforts her. He never like puts his hand on her shoulder. He never rubs her back. He never looks at her and says it's okay, because he knows that she is suffering still to this day. And he doesn't want to show the jury that like anything like that. He is here to do a job, and he wants the jury to understand that. I think it must be, because of the kind of man he is, incredibly difficult to not show her any comfort. But I think he's doing it on purpose.
I think so too, because I think that there's a line that the jury could draw, or that not well many people could draw, that she's manipulating him because she's so manipulative. So for him just to defend her cleanly based on the law and based on the facts is the right call. And somebody said this earlier, it is 100% intentional that they had 2 female prosecutors here. You guys watch Law and Order, you know. You always want, whenever you have a female defendant, Jack McCoy always lets his second chair woman do the prosecution.
And Kate, Coco, I understand what you're saying. Shame on the prosecutors and the Commonwealth. They have no idea what PPD or PPP is. Actually, I think they do, and I think they do too.
They don't care.
They do not care.
For some reason, I thought this was going to be a win. I mean,
they think this is a slam dunk. They still think it's a slam dunk.
I know we're going to put Patrick talk about Patrick being on the stand. How on earth could they possibly think he would be a good witness for them? He is the saddest, kindest, most empathetic man.
Yeah. But you know what, Rebecca? I know you're saying that, and that's how you see him. I've seen commentary online that people, and it's on Twitter mostly, but people commenting on his testimony and saying things like, he was bamboozled. He was manipulated by her. You can tell. He's so sad that he let her manipulate him.
Disgusting.
It's awful. But anyway, okay. Let's see where we are. I'm sorry I'm fast forwarding so much, but I'm fast forwarding through the bad details of what happened that day. We all know what happened that day.
He loved her. If you read that New Yorker piece that he participated in, he loved her. He loved her.
I think he still loves her. I think obviously he's remarried, but I think she was the mother of his children, and they were together for a long time. He's deeply sad. Yeah. Okay.
she's saying the voice told her, and the details of when this voice, the timing, the substance of her statements of the direction or details from the so-called voice. And she killed
I just want you to hear the snark.
Heartbeat on Callan, but he never started breathing on his own. He never regained consciousness. He had no brain activity. Nonetheless, he was transferred to Boston Children's Hospital, where he died 3 days later on January 27th. The defendant was taken to South Shore Hospital and then transported subsequently to Brigham and Women's in Boston. She had multiple traumas, including spinal injuries, as well as superficial injuries to both her wrists and her neck.
Superficial.
We expect during the course of this trial that you'll hear the defendant made claims that either right after Patrick left the house or after he called her from the CVS, depending on which version of the events she's telling, she heard a voice, a male voice, a voice that she had never heard before, a voice that she never heard again. And that voice told her that it was her last chance, that she had to kill the kids so that she could kill herself. She immediately took action when she heard the voice, with no direction or details from the so-called voice, and she killed the children. Once she killed the children, the voice stopped. When you consider this information in the course of the trial, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you consider the source, the timing, the substance of her statements about this voice. You're also going to hear from, or you may hear from, forensic psychologists and psychiatrists who talk about what's called command hallucinations and voices that people hear before they do something. And when you hear that testimony, I ask that you keep in mind the details of what she's saying the voice told her, and the details of when this voice spoke to her. Another important thing to remember throughout the course of this trial is that this is not a case about the Lindsay Clancy that sits before you today. This case is about the Lindsay Clancy on January 24th, 2023, at the time of the crimes. This was not a woman in the throes of psychosis on January 24th, 2023. This was a woman who acted intentionally, rationally, and swiftly to accomplish a very specific goal: to kill.
For what?
You'll see in here evidence about all the things that she did that day.
Attention. I don't know.
Leading to the murders. You'll hear her spending time with her family and friends. You'll hear her appearing to be in good spirits and doing better for all intents and purposes. On that very day, you'll hear she interacted with people at the doctor's office. She came home and took care of the kids. She talked to people on the phone and via text message. The evidence will show you she was not psychotic that day.
That day.
That's your conscience choking you, by the way, lady.
She was not psychotic that day. The other days, maybe, but not that day.
Not that day.
Overachiever in school, in her personal life.
You know why your throat hurts?
Career.
Because you're a horrible person.
Who liked?
Because the devil is scratching from the inside out.
Thanks for the 10, Invisible Woman 5. My hairdresser niece works with this DA and says she's a bitch.
Yeah, your hairdresser niece needs to do something about her hair then, because her hair is a fucking mess.
Yeah, I just want to say that, again, just showing some grace, even though I don't feel it. She was assigned to this case and has to do it. And so, it's horrible. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would quit my job instead of doing this.
That's what I'm saying. But she
she
doesn't have to do this case. She could say, I don't feel comfortable with this. Put somebody else on it. I can't do it. And if they were to fire her over that, she would have a lawsuit on her own hands.
Yeah. Well, maybe, no, she probably wouldn't actually, because she was asked to do something and she refused to do it. But I'm just,
for personal reasons.
I am reticent to go down these women prosecutors are ugly and clearly unmarried and alone and bitchy. I'm reticent to go down that road. This is a shameful prosecution.
Rebecca,
being right now, opening statement done by somebody with terrible hair.
Rebecca, look at the bow in her hair.
So bad, I know.
And what is she doing with the back of her head is all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying you're in a court and you're supposed to be presenting yourself to the jury. Do something about your fucking hair.
I know. I just, the outrage culture in the free Karen Read community is fun sometimes. And other times it's this is really important. And the minute that you immediately cast somebody doing their job, as disgusting as it is, and make it super personal about that person, it takes away some of the seriousness of the importance of this. She shouldn't have done it. She should have, I would have quit before doing this. She didn't. Yep. All right. Someone says, let us be mean in this klutz space. Okay, let's be mean. She's terrible. She's a terrible person. And she coughed because her conscience is making her throat hurt.
And listen, if Greg Connor can say he's not going to retry Karen Reed, then she can say she's not going to take this case.
Right.
If
Yeah.
they can't get anybody besides Adam Lally, I mean, did they go down the chain? Is this the bottom of the barrel like Adam Lally was?
I don't know. I mean, in a world in which she could have refused it, she didn't, and that's terrible. But I also think that this is the process, and man, she's part of the process. You know, the process is just, oh God, what she's doing here is so awful. What the state, what the Commonwealth is doing to her is so awful. And we will hear in Reddington's open that he actually nods to that higher power, which I really appreciated.
That beginning, his opening, just right from the get-go, is so powerful. Let's get through just a little bit more of this, and then we'll Redding is something that we want to watch almost all the way through, except for when he brings up the photos.
Mhm.
And there's like a section in the middle where you're listening to him list out all the meds, which I think would feel repetitive and probably annoying to everybody, but it's really important to this case, so he has to do it. So,
detail of her life, of her family's life. In contrast to pictures you'll see of the doting mother, the dedicated nurse, you'll also see a side of LINDSAY CLANCY that's different.
No, you won't.
Somebody extremely controlling, meticulous, and manipulative. The days were laid out in specificity. Strict schedules were expected to be maintained. Food was planned.
The horror.
Sleep was scheduled to the minute.
Whoa.
And at the time after
she had 3 little kids.
Baby, the family had to adjust. And by all sources that I expect you're going to hear at that trial, that summer was great. But after Patrick had finished his paternity leave and was back to work full time, when she no longer had a nanny to watch the baby, do laundry, tidy up the house, follow her schedule,
off.
when she was responsible for it all, it was hard. It was hard for her to maintain that control. It was hard for her to bond with her kids. And in efforts to maintain control,
it was hard for her to bond with her kids
because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis.
She withheld information from her husband, from her doctors. She reported serious symptoms that were inconsistent with her daily activities, you'll hear. And ultimately, on January 24th, 2023, the defendant made a calculated decision. This was a woman who no longer liked the life she thought she wanted.
Really?
It was getting harder and harder to control.
Really?
And when she saw the opportunity to escape, she made the selfish choice.
How fucking dare you?
And to take Cora, Dawson.
Whenever anybody calls suicide selfish, I want to punch them in the face.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a public.
She wanted to take the easy way out, Rebecca. Let's be real.
The coward's way out. It's disgusting.
Debate about women's mental health and how the medical system treats women. This case is about this defendant, LINDSAY CLANCY.
She just said, I'm going to back it up because it's important what she just said, and it's bullshit what she just said.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a public debate about women's mental health and how the system treats women. This case is about this defendant, LINDSAY CLANCY. There is no dispute that she was dealing with mental health issues during this time period prior to the murders. There'll be medical records, medical doctors, mental health professionals that will talk about treatment, prescriptions, hospital visits. All that's going to be before you. The evidence will show that this defendant had a means and access to mental health that most people don't. And she chose to deal with her mental health issues in the worst way.
She dealt with her mental health issues in the worst way, Rebecca.
She chose to manipulate her providers, seek out the quick and easy fix when she was feeling depressed and anxious. And when she didn't get what she expected, she chose an alternate route. She sought a different doctor. She changed medications after days. She disengaged from treatment when she didn't like the plan.
Wow.
After only 4 months in treatment, she made a choice, a deliberate and intentional decision that she did not want to try anymore. And because no one could take care of her kids the way she wanted them to,
what?
She had to take them with her. Despite all the precision that she exhibited that day, you'll hear the timing of it all.
Okay, I think we understand, right? We've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. Do you want to keep going?
No.
Okay. I want to get to the defense because he just comes in hot.
He comes in real hot.
Yeah. Calls out the DA in the first seconds. Like, it's amazing. Anyone who looks at this woman and thinks that she is faking it can literally kiss my fucking ass.
As Kevin would say,
what the fuck?
And my least favorite thing he says, that he says all the time, they can go eat 12 fucking dicks.
Yeah, I'm like, eat a bag of dicks. This is insane. Okay. So Reddington's got to, okay, he's got to put up some little things.
Family.
Okay.
Normally, we thank jurors for time away from your life, jobs, and family, coming to court, listening to a trial. Certainly is a service that's provided by you as citizens. But in this case, God bless you. You people are going to have to listen to some of the most horrific things. Look at some of the most horrific things. And jurors, it's a beautiful system. You pass between, as you heard Don Clerk say, you probably don't remember it, but it's old language, it goes back to Old England. It says that you as jurors pass between the government and she places herself on her country, which country you are. You owe allegiance to nothing but your oath, your consideration, and your time, your common sense. You bring your life experience to this trial. You render a verdict. And as jurors, experiences, take the job very, very, very seriously. You people never forget this case. And thank you for that service. The government says that this is a situation, it's not a referendum on women's having babies and having postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression, but it sure as hell is. Because you're going to hear, consistent with what is told you in the instructions, consistent with the obligation that the government has when they brought this charge. Tim Cruz, the DA, right in the front row, brought this charge. He knew, as did his office, the facts of this case. And he knew when he brought this charge that it was going to kill the soul of this young woman. And they would bring their evidence in front of a jury.
Show its face.
That she knows that she killed these children. We'll sit here, listen to their evidence. But I suggest to you that the issue for consideration is what was going on in that woman's mind. You're going to hear evidence that, as the government said, Lindsay was a kind of a parent pleaser. She was a person that in school had a lot of friends, still has friends. You'll hear evidence to this day from the 6th grade, high school, college, nursing school. You're going to hear evidence that Lindsay, in the course of being in high school, she was a high achiever, gymnastics. Stopped doing gymnastics because she hurt herself and didn't like to do the backflips and stopped doing gymnastics, but she was very athletic. You're going to hear evidence that right after she had the birth, the last child, within 4 or 5 days, she ran a 5K. She was very, very, very physically fit. Her life was such that she watched what she ate, watched what she did in her life as far as activities, and was one heck of a mother. She loved her children. All the things that the DA said to you about those little kids and their life and what they like, she knows 1,000 times more than what they
That
like.
one right there.
And in that capacity, as a mother, daily, you'll see evidence that she would decorate rooms, that she and Patrick did have that achievement of a wonderful life. They had it all. They met in Boston. She was a young nurse out of school. He was working in his industry. They ended up falling in love. They got married, bought a nice house. And, people typically say, oh, they're living in this mansion. No, they're living in a very, very humble house in Duxbury that they had to struggle to pay for. That house, you will see, not from the view, because it's not enough that we have photographs. On top of the photographs, we have to have a video. And on top of the photographs and the video, we have to have an auto-computerized animated display.
I think that the jury, from what I've heard, the jury is, I think it's a majority women, but that they're older. And I think that if anybody on the jury is over the age of like 45, they're going to completely identify with this guy. And they're going to listen. He's either going to be like a grandpa, which he is to me, or he's just going to be like one of those straight talking dudes. And also he's this old white guy who is representing a client who unalived her own children, and he is coming at you with passion and he is fighting for her. And I think anybody over the age of, I want to say anybody over the age of 30 is going to identify with him and love him. But I know there are some people out there who are going to be like, "Ooh, he's too yelly." You know what I mean? I think
it's fine when a defense attorney is yelly.
Yeah, I do too.
When the prosecution's yelly, but I get pissed.
Yeah, well, all right. let's get back to it.
movies, all sorts of toys, erector sets, trucks, all over the living room. There was no dining room. It was a large thing for the baby to be in and then surrounded by toys. Every single room had toys in it. These children were loved and nurtured and cared for by her. She didn't want to get rid of her kids because of her selfish life, as the government indicates. She loved those children right up to the time of their death. You're going to see that there's photographs in this case that you'll be able to evaluate that show that. Some of them might even be in the videos that the state police took. This case is a massive production by the district attorney's office. You have the district attorneys, the assistant district attorneys, the assistants to the assistant district attorneys. You have the state police crime laboratory. You have the detectives. You have the state police, the armed men that will go out and interview witnesses and will investigate this case. You have the victim witness advocate, very nice lady, by the way, that deals with
Very nice lady, by the way.
people in a case such as this. It's a massive operation, and that's great. We should have that. But when you're considering the evidence, you consider the fact that you have two young people that were living this life, that were working, and Patrick, not because of COVID, not because of he just didn't want to work in an office anymore. He worked out of his basement. He worked in an office in the basement. He was there because of what Lindsay was going through. He was there. He lived it. And he will testify to it. He doesn't have to testify, quite frankly, and identify clothing and be distraught and placed in a position of horror in this courtroom. But he will testify to what they went through as a husband and a wife. The wife being pregnant. They had 3 kids. After the second child, she had postpartum. You can hear evidence that that's one of the issues that is important because that can lead to bipolar. One of the things that you don't do, which is taboo, is if you have somebody that's bipolar, you don't put them on an antidepressant. You don't put them on Zoloft. You don't put them on what's called an SSRI. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. It messes with your brain. You don't do that, but it was done in this case.
This guy is so sharp. The fact that he can spit that without notes, like, I can't tell you what SSRI means off the top of my head right now. And he just spit that. And he's, I feel like he gets emotional when he should get emotional. Like, anybody, any doctor should know, you don't put somebody on this when they're blah, 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 you know, and it's like that, the jury is going to feel him.
Yeah.
And that's, I think they're going to feel him.
Yeah.
Do you have
And
any thoughts so far?
it's so smart to just point out the sickness of the fact that this prosecution exists.
Yes.
It's so great.
Yep. Okay.
Go off, Grandpa, says the other Mary B.
Go
Hi, other Mary B. Nice to see
The other
you.
Mary B is wondering if he's taking grandchild applications, and
It's nice to see you in our chat, other Mary B.
We love other Mary B.
Part of our extended community, and we really appreciate
Selective
you.
serotonin receptor inhibitors. I can't even say it, and I'm reading it. He said it. I mean, this guy's sharp. I love it.
The
Reuptake
reason
inhibitor.
that Lindsay went to the doctors was in September of 2022. July and August of 2022, they were very happy. Lovely little family. September, things went sideways. And she looked, well, and you heard the government saying, and remember what they say in their opening, and remember that when they prepare a case, and remember how they can point to different aspects of the case to show guilt, that show that somebody's conniving. In this case, how many times you heard she faked the suicide? Faked the suicide. Little cuts, dinky little cuts, scratches.
Okay, here comes the bad part.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip past this part just because it's very.
We can just tell you in broad strokes, he shows very gruesome photos of her in the hospital with her throat cut, with her back broken, and with deep cuts in her wrists. So take care of yourself if you need to. Seek support if you are ever experiencing suicidal ideation or depression.
Yes. Okay, I believe I've got
Of the
past
injuries to her neck.
it. Nope.
And I guess slid down the wall.
Jump scare.
So we didn't hear evidence that she flung and threw herself out the window, striking her head on the ground, full ground, causing what's known as a Jefferson fracture of her neck. She shattered, exploded her thoracic spine, shattered her cervical spine, the first disc, broke every rib. And the Jefferson fracture, you'll hear evidence, is not consistent with a fake suicide by any means. Jefferson fracture is consistent with Superman when you get thrown off the horse. It's consistent with people that have the tragedy where they
So
died in a
smart.
swimming pool.
He means Christopher Reeve, by the way, not Superman.
Yep.
She's paralyzed.
Yep.
She's not going to get up miraculously and walk out of this courtroom. Was paralyzed and will be paralyzed for the rest of her life. She's living her own hell. She knows what happened with those kids, and she wanted to die. When she was in the hospital, you're going to see evidence. Brigham and Women's Hospital, when they transferred her from South Shore Hospital air flight into Brigham and Women's Hospital. And she was then given the emergency room, the emergency treatment at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. You couldn't move in that room. There was so much equipment, so many wires, so many breathing tubes, so many machines, humming, banging, clicking, and she's spread out like she's crucified on the bed while she's being treated in that room, surrounded by armed police officers. Out in the hallway, guarding the hallway against what? Anyone could guess. Guarding the hallway, guarding the room, guarding the bed, standing there. She's handcuffed to the bed. She goes to
And paralyzed.
Government speculates that, again, you see how the government is able to create what they want for facts, that she is so cold and calculating that she said, that she heard voices after I brought a psychologist, Dr. Zeisel, into that room to see her. I had to
Zeisel.
move heaven and earth. You'll hear evidence that they wouldn't even let her have visitors. She couldn't even see her family for over a week. The cops wouldn't let anybody near her. That room was an armed camp. I had to move heaven and earth and practically get a court order to be able to get in there and see her while she's laying in the bed. And they suggest, and will suggest, that she said, I heard voices, I heard command hallucinations telling me to kill the kids and then kill myself, after she talked to Paul Zeisel as if he was telling her what to say because I'm the lawyer and I brought him into that hospital.
I just want to stop here because I was watching Peter Tragos talk about this. He's doing this selectively as well, and he brought up a really interesting argument. And I wonder what your opinion is about it, Rebecca, because it has to do with the judge in this case. But so far, up until this point, there have been a couple of things that Reddington has said to the jury that would be considered argument, but no one from the prosecution is objecting. So that's A. And B, he's making himself a witness right here.
Yep.
So thoughts on that? Like, how do you think that no one objects? The judge doesn't say anything. He's allowed to keep going. So I don't know what this means from a legal perspective, but I think it's very interesting that because he goes off on this tangent for a minute about Zeisel and him being in the room, and literally what Lindsay says to the nurse when she wakes up, and he heard it, so he is a witness to that.
Well, it's privileged. Well, she wasn't talking to him, so it's not necessarily privileged.
Well, it's hearsay, but it reminds me of when, do you remember I think it was trial 1, when Alan Jackson did the recording with his private investigator of the entrance to the basement at 34 Fairview, and Bev wouldn't allow it in front of the jury because he made himself a witness almost by putting himself in the video. And so she wouldn't allow it in front of the jury. He went back and had them re-record it without him in the video. She basically was like, you can't be in the video in front of the jury. So I'm wondering, like, what the judge, like, what happens here?
So I would argue, opening arguments, you're supposed to state the facts of the case as you're going to present them, or as you might present them. As you heard the prosecutor say, you might hear from X, Y, Z. She doesn't know 100% what witnesses they're going to bring in, et cetera. He's talking about a fact pattern, and the fact pattern is the shameless prosecution of this woman. And I think I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine that he says he was there. It's not, he's not giving testimony. He is just telling the story of him coming into the case. That's something you hear lawyers do a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And that what you were talking about was evidence. That was an exhibit. This is not. This is just an opening argument, which is just
right.
That.
And opening arguments are not evidence. Tracy, thanks for the $20. Tracy said, which experts are going to support the DA's version of events? Whoever made the decision to prosecute her should stand up and be counted. Disgusting.
Ian Whiffen is going to testify.
Ian Whiffen.
I can't wait for them to ask. I can't wait for them to ask him about the timestamps on the searches that she made.
Jesus Christ, just so ridiculous. Okay, let's get through some more of this. We may not get to Patrick, but I don't think we need to watch Patrick's testimony. So
we don't. We can just discuss it, though.
He's one of the most respected psychologists. You're going to hear evidence that he was embedded with the military in Afghanistan for years. You're going to hear evidence that he works for the government.
Sorry, we were talking over him, but he's talking about his expert Zeisel, who was the first person that Reddington pretty much brought into Lindsay Clancy's hospital room to see what her mental state was, because Zeisel, as he's saying, works with soldiers who have complex PTSD and all that stuff.
When there's a shooting involving the FBI, the CIA, or any of those alphabet soup cops, he's involved out interviewing these people for post-traumatic stress. I knew that he was the man to talk to this young woman in the hospital. When I finally was able to get into that room, into that hospital, he was with me. He did not tell her command voices. He, as a human being, gave her a cell phone so she could call.
It's important right there.
But you know what? You're going to hear evidence from a woman who works in Brigham and Women's Hospital. So Lindsay, as soon as she came out of her coma, she is a woman that works with the religious services in that hospital. And the first thing that Lindsay wanted to know was my family. And then she told her about what happened and told her about the command voices. And this is well before she ever met me or Paul Zaizal.
That's
So you
important.
have to keep focused on the evidence because it's so easy to manipulate. There's no fake suicide. And there was no plan to fake her sickness. This is a young woman that, with her husband, tried very hard to get the help she needed. She went and saw a doctor by the name of, oh, by the way, remember in the opening, the government said she shopped around for doctors, I guess, and she wanted to get doctors to, I don't know, give her drugs or something. You can hear evidence that she went online and she looked for someone that was into neonatal post-baby delivery because she knew that she was in trouble. She couldn't sleep. She had insomnia. It wasn't just, when you get up in the middle of the night because your phone's on. She couldn't sleep. She only get 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night if she's lucky. As time went on. In September, she went to see Dr. Tufts. Jennifer Tufts was the name of the doctor. Jennifer Tufts then gave her a prescription.
Okay, so he's going to go through all of the prescriptions now, which we don't need to go through that.
What type of drugs? Can you become addicted to benzodiazepine? Did nothing in her life, but dedicated her life to helping people. She was in a labor delivery. You're going to hear from labor and delivery nurses that will tell you how dedicated she was. Cora was named after the very, very first baby that she delivered as a nurse.
Wow,
In
that's
Boston.
powerful.
That's where the name Cora came from. Cora was named after her first delivery. This is a woman who did nothing in her life, but dedicated her life to helping people and be a good person, a good nurse, and a great mom. And as time went on, looking like anyone else would, please help me. That's what it's all about. Give me help. And the civil government will say, God, she was able to talk to people. She wasn't drooling. She wasn't putting tin foil inside of the hat when she was going to the schools. No, she was able to talk to people. We actually have, we meaning the government, we have video of her and Patrick and the kids at the Museum of Science, and they were actually having a good time. We also have video that shows them down at the Cape Cod, down the Cape, with the kids, and they're in bathing suits. I guess she was fine. She put on a pretty good face.
She went down a water
What
slide.
does she do? She goes to see, September 12th of 22, she looked for a psychiatrist. That's when she hooks up, if you will, with Dr. Jennifer Tufts, early October of 22, initial appointment. October 20th of 22, reports the adverse reaction that she was having to this.
This is just
serotonin
him,
reuptake inhibitor,
obviously,
Zoloft.
breaking down the timeline of all. I mean, I went over this the other day. If you haven't watched the solo I did the other day that was about Scapiccio's papers, the civil case breaks down everything she did. So go check out that, go read the civil case for yourself. It's really, really strong. It's really powerful.
At the South Shore Hospital, labor and delivery as well. She knows Lindsay, and she told Lindsay, you got to go to this outfit here, which was.
He's talking about Patrick's mom. So Patrick's mom was a nurse with at Women's Hospital with labor and delivery, and
Was
she
his
also
sister a nurse as well? The one that introduced them? I don't remember.
might have been. But basically, Lindsay was a nurse. Patrick's mom was a nurse, and they both did. Patrick's mom and Lindsay both did all the right things. They tried to get her help. They tried to go to the right places, and the medical system failed her.
You see here, and you'll hear evidence that, first off, Jennifer Tufts, September 15th.
Okay, we're still going through all the medical stuff.
She would rock on the sofa, crying hysterically, banging her head, and live with them to take care of the kids to help because she was walking around absolutely.
Her parents came to live with them.
She would rock on the sofa, crying hysterically, banging her head into the pillow of the sofa. Patrick will tell you what he observed with her. She dealt with her parents. Her parents were there to try to help. Is this someone that's faking because she doesn't want to be a mother anymore? Her parents were there. Mother and father, wonderful people. Mother's retired. Dad took pictures of high school kids for yearbooks. They did what they could. Coming into December, after Thanksgiving. And they went, by the way, during the holiday.
Back to the timeline. I just want to get toward the end of his closing is strong. Like the final bit is really strong.
Because you've got medications that you're going to have to clear. Be compared Diazepam 2 milligrams between 10, 16, and 23. Appointment Dr. Tufts that did not get the medication, did not get the medical treatment that she so deserved. This is a woman that was suffering from psychosis at the time that she went down to that basement. She had no motive. She loved her children. She intended to kill herself. She didn't fake that. Threw herself out the window. Goes to the hospital. You're going to see that when she's in the hospital, they said to her, "You want what do you call it, a DNR? Do not resuscitate her." Whatever. Absolutely. Did not want any DNR. Didn't want to be resuscitated. Wanted to die. To this day, wants to die. That's
To
what
this
we're dealing
day.
with on this prosecution. So you're going to hear from witnesses. It's going to be emotional. And thank you for your service.
Did you see the look he gave the prosecutors
Yes. Shameful.
right at the end there? Like
I
right here.
hope they went home that night and cried of shame.
What?
What we're dealing with on this prosecution.
Oh, he's looking at the prosecutors right there.
I know.
He said, "What we're dealing with this," and then he looks at them, prosecution, and like
Ugh,
shakes.
that's so rough. And then, so we won't make you watch it because it is the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Patrick, her ex-husband, is the first witness called by the prosecution.
Like
and
I know they have to call him. They have to, but he doesn't do them any favors.
He's the most sympathetic witness I've ever seen on the stand in my life. When he talked about her, the prosecutor tried to goad him by saying, you know, did she have any issues with insurance with this treatment? And he was like, that doesn't matter. I would have paid anything.
Yes. The thing I loved about his testimony,
God.
not only was he empathetic and calm and thorough, he added context when he realized, when he knew the prosecutors were trying to be shady, he added context and they didn't stop him because if they interrupt him, they're going to look like assholes.
They cannot interrupt Patrick. They cannot.
Nope.
And also, he was very well coached. Like he had been told, obviously, to only answer the question asked. And he was so disciplined about that until he wasn't. So when he wasn't, it made a huge difference. Like, you know, when Jen McCabe is asked a question in court, she goes on and answers a question that wasn't asked because she's lying, right?
Yep.
He's just answering the questions that are asked, very disciplined. Like, did you do this? Yes. And instead of adding more, when did you do this? On this date. And then so that when he says more, you listen to more.
Yep.
Can you imagine? I feel for him so hard. I feel for his wife and baby. Like,
I feel for everyone in this
case.
This
is a ghost that's going to be chasing this guy for the rest of his life. And he's clearly such a lovely person. And I just don't think how the prosecution thinks that his testifying in any way could help. They need to just get him off the stand. The fact that they're calling him back for another day of testimony, I'm like, they should have gotten him off the stand as fast as possible.
The minutia is driving me insane. Like they are asking him to look at videos of, they took the kids to a water park in the wintertime because the kids were probably going stir crazy because it was winter. So they went to this indoor water park and they're just making him watch videos of the kids going down slides.
Yeah. His dead kids.
Fucking purpose. For what purpose?
Yep.
And that's, you know, Reddington said this in the pretrial hearing that we talked about, where he was like, are we really going to do this, Judge? Like, we're really going to hash out all of these details of these poor kids and all this stuff. And it's like, he's right. You know, I mean, I understand some of the reason why they need to, but they are not going to get from Patrick what they want from Patrick, the prosecution.
Did you notice something remarkable about Reddington during Patrick's testimony?
What?
Many remarkable things. He didn't object to anything. He didn't object to any exhibits. He didn't object to questions. No. And that is so unusual. Yeah. It is so unusual. He is letting them, he's giving them the rope. Yeah. You know, it's just like, it's very, I thought it was a defense attorney object. Like that is a thing. And I'm curious, it'll be interesting to see when he's cross-examined how the prosecution behaves, because I was really stunned at the lack of objections. And he literally said at one point, because he did object at identifying Lindsay, but because I think that was stipulated to what they needed to do for that. Anyway, he literally said to the judge at one point, I'm not going to object to any of these exhibits. You don't need to ask me anymore.
Yep.
And I was like,
she doesn't need to ask me anymore.
It's such a show of strength in their case that he's just like, show them anything you want. Any photos you can show them will not hurt us. Yeah. Because Lindsay knows what she did. and
I
just
wish-
stipulated to it. So
In a different world, I wish that prosecutors had the same righteous indignation that Kevin Reddington had.
some do. To be fair, some do. I mean, if you listen to this 12 Weeks podcast that the last 12 weeks, I think, I'd really recommend it. It's a new serial series. There are some great, like you meet great defense attorneys, you meet others, but a lot of defense attorneys that we love, by the way, used to be prosecutors. David Yannetti was a prosecutor. Alan Jackson was a prosecutor. I wouldn't be surprised to learn Reddington was a prosecutor. Like a lot of defense attorneys used to be prosecutors. And, there are some prosecutors who care a lot. The problem is we don't hear about them because they're trying cases fairly and something isn't off. So it's not something for us to talk about.
You know what I'm looking forward to, and I hope this day comes, is Kevin Reddington becoming a judge. He would make an amazing judge. I want more people like him to be judges.
I agree.
So they basically, in Patrick's testimony, what we've gotten through so far is they are literally like asking him. There were a couple of things where they tried to refresh his memory and they were wrong, it seems like.
Yes.
One thing that they asked Patrick about that was, did you guys go out for your anniversary on this night? And it must have been the same year that this happened. And he was like, no, we stayed home.
Nope,
And
we didn't go out that night.
She's like, you sure about that? And he's like, yeah, we didn't go out that night. And she's like, well, let me refresh your memory. And she shows him a picture of them like celebrating. And he's like, we didn't go out that night. That's not from that night. Like, she was actually wrong. And he allowed her, he called her on it.
Yep.
He himself is so sharp and so 2 steps ahead of the prosecutor here.
Mm-hmm.
And that she literally just had to say, oh, okay, so you didn't go out that night? And he was like, nope. And she had to drop it because she was wrong. But also her whole premise here is that Lindsay Clancy was able to be alive and in the world. So clearly she wasn't ill. Clearly this was calculated. You guys went out to dinner and you went on a water slide and you took selfies in the hospital.
Yeah. It's insane. This is the most insane prosecution I have seen in a very long time. And that is saying something.
Yes.
This is more insane than the Karen Reed prosecution, in my opinion. It's more insane because the Karen Reed prosecution, it's like a person walking down the street who just hears the barest facts about what happened could ostensibly be like, yeah, I could see a world in which she did it and doesn't remember or something, right?
Yeah.
She didn't, by the way. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. Let's be very clear about that. But it doesn't even pass the first, when her ex-husband is supporting her and her ex-in-laws are supporting her and everybody in her life is supporting her. And she did what she did to herself.
Yes.
And they're trying to claim this was a well person who just wanted to not have to take care of her kids anymore. Wild.
Turtle Boy made a really interesting comment about this earlier where he said, because somebody was arguing, if she had not survived the fall, if she hadn't survived, we wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be talking about mental health. So it's actually a good thing that she survived. And he said, I thought this was really astute. And he's probably right. If Lindsay hadn't survived the fall, Patrick would be on trial for unaliving his entire family.
I know what I disagree. You know what would happen? The world would be villainizing her.
Well, he's not wrong though to think that because they immediately look at the spouse and he is the one who found everybody and he was probably covered in material, and the EMTs show up and then
he would have been looked at for sure, but I think there was ample evidence that she did it, fingerprints and so forth. But the world would be villainizing her if she had died, because it would be easy because she killed her kids and now she's dead. Good. Right.
Yeah.
I think that's another potential outcome. It is. Ugh. This case just gives me the grodies. Can I palate cleanse for a second? It's so important. It's so important.
I know it gives us all the grodies, but it's so important. And to see a defense attorney like Kevin Reddington fighting as hard as he is, sitting on himself, no computer, just a notebook, not even looking or touching his client who is in a fit state, and he's just there doing a job, making sure her constitutional rights aren't violated, making sure he puts on the best case and gives her the best opportunity, is exactly what I expect out of our legal system.
Mhm.
And so for me, this case is really, really, really difficult. I talked about this the other day, that my mother, there are rumors that my mother unalived my baby sister. This is not an easy case for me to watch either. However, it's so important what this guy is doing, and the judge's rulings are important. Everything that's happening in this case is so important, not just for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but for everybody. And I hope that everybody sees Kevin Reddington's defense and realizes that we all have constitutional rights, even someone who unalived her 3 children.
One of the things that I liked about some of the coverage of the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case that I saw, even though some of that case, I think that case is a lot cloudier than this one, to be honest with you. I really do. It's murkier. It's a murkier
Wait,
case.
say that again. What
I think
case?
it's the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. I think it's a way murkier.
Ah.
Like her innocence or guilt was a murkier matter. Getting a bench trial was the right thing for them to do. It ended up being a battle of who's being more honest in court, all that stuff. And again, I know there are complicated issues behind the scenes because we've seen them play out in the wake of that trial, right? So
Yep.
There's a lot there. But when I saw a lot of the men in our community talking about that case, look at that.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Oh no.
Did you see that?
Who knocked a mirror off of a car?
Hold on just a second. Are you okay? What happened? Can I see it?
Is that Lindsay? Oh my gosh.
Are you okay?
Don't laugh. It's so funny. I gotta try to fix it now.
Lindsay, that's very funny. Tell her it's deeply funny.
There was a branch hanging down off of a tree and it snapped her mirror off.
that's like those. Just the part is that's going to be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Someone said 500 to 1,000. That's 100% right. One of my kids did that once. She said, I'm going to try to fix it. What is she going to duct tape it onto your guy's car?
Probably. That's what we would do. All right, go ahead.
So I liked seeing like all these guys who sort of like in our space who, let's just say in their presentation, they come off as a little alpha, right? You know, they work out, they talk about that. They're like dudish. You know, when I said that Will and Aidan Carney were very romantic in their conversation, that clearly made them deeply uncomfortable, like these kinds of men, right? When we're talking about the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case, there was like a lot of discussion around postpartum depression and all this stuff and, you know, women's health and all this stuff. And this case is the same way. Like, it's really important that the world understand how much the healthcare system fails women, period. How much the healthcare system fails people with mental illness, period. How much the healthcare system is reliant on an insurance system that makes it 10 million times harder and worse for someone to get the treatment that they need, like, period. And so I think that it's important. I really am enjoying the fact that people in our community are discussing it because it normalizes those issues. Like, I remember when the Karen Reed case second trial was happening and I tweeted about Dr. Wolf from Florida. And I said, you know, if you're a woman, you know this doctor, like you've had a doctor like this, like the smarminess, the know-it-allness. And I remember Aidan said on his show, he's like, I'm not a woman. I thought this was interesting. I never thought about this or whatever. I'm like, this case is that. This case is that. And so I don't know. Oh, yeah.
You have a palate cleanser for us before we head out of here?
I do. You asked for it.
Clut. I'm a clut.
If you're interested in buying the "We Are in a Clut" t-shirt, there you go. I had a template all worked up. I didn't have to like do any art while that was.
You did that well. That's impressive, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. We're in a clut. We are in a clut. It's a clut. Someone's gonna have to deprogram us from this clut.
I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate you all being, you know, like sharing your experiences like you did in the solo I did the other day, and everybody being able to talk about this. And I know it's a tough one, but like I said, I think it's really important. We're not going to cover it every day. Squirrel, thanks for becoming a new member. Tomorrow they're back in court tomorrow. Oh, also thanks GA Cat Mom for the tip. GA Cat Mom sent us $10 and said, thank you and Rebecca for all your hard work.
Thank you, GA Cat Mom, Georgia Cat Mom. I'm assuming it's Georgia.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about you and your username, by the way, lady. I learned a lot about you.
I appreciate you all being here so much. I will be back tomorrow night with a cross roast. I will figure out a time.
What's a cross roast, Mel? What's a cross roast?
Our cross roast is a members only stream where Rebecca gets a little toasty while drinking her frosé, and I try to make her incredibly uncomfortable by making her sit through awkward testimony mostly from the Karen Reed trials or that universe. And tomorrow I think it's going to be a good one. And so we'll see you back here.
I'm voting for Higgy. Higgy.
We're going a little bit later than we normally do.
Yeah, we're going 8
We're going at
7:30. 7:30 p.m.
7:30. Yeah,
7:30
tomorrow night.
I might be a little late.
7:30-ish Eastern.
Yes.
Tomorrow night for the cross roast. In between court and cross roast tomorrow, I might try to jump on and just do a solo to give you guys a recap of what happened in the trial, because the Lindsay Clancy case will be back in court tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. as far as I understand. So I will try to give you some sort of a recap before we do cross roast, and we'll do that. And then Rebecca's off for like a week, and I'm going to have a bunch of co-hosts, and I'm going to be doing some solos. We're going to be talking about Lindsay Clancy and this case. I'm going to try to protect you and myself from anything that's too traumatic. But we will definitely talk about it. And I appreciate your thoughtful conversations around this subject matter.
The good news about it, you know what provides a little levity is the hatred that we can have for the people prosecuting this case.
I hate them.
It adds a little levity. Hating somebody feels really good. Let's be real. It can feel really satisfying to be a hater.
As a woman, I'm sorry, I'm pulling the woman card here. As a woman, I'm like, fuck you. You are allowing this DA's office to use you. It's the same way I feel sometimes when a woman, like a prosecutor represents like a rapist. You know what I mean? Like when Harvey Weinstein, for instance, shows up with a woman as their lead attorney, that's a move for the media. They might be a great attorney. And do I think that rapists and people who unalive other people deserve a good defense? Just go and find yourself a dude. Like, don't be the woman who is okay with saying that this is okay. I can't, I as a woman, I don't know if I would be able to do it. Can
we just talk about the fact that your partner just came in with the mirror on her car in her hand?
Yeah, I gotta go deal with that situation.
I'm sorry. It's hard to move on. I just want to let folks know there is a parrot cup emoji available for if you've been a member for a month. If you become a new member, you get MLEC, parrot cup emoji. I'm adding more emojis all the time.
That's why as people were asking in the chat, what are the duckies? What are the hearts? Those are for our members. So however long you've been a member, you get emojis. Everyone who's in green in this chat is a member. Everyone who is not in green
is a loser. No.
What are you doing with your life, kid?
What are you doing?
What are you doing with your life?
Join at the lowest level, we give you plenty. When you join at the higher level, we give you a little more. Like, just become a member.
What are you doing? What are you doing with your life, kid?
A member of the channel. Send us a tip if you like our work. It really helps us.
Please. Yeah, it really helps us out. And also, YouTube doesn't take like 30% of our tips, so the tips are very much welcome. You can Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. They're all at the top of the screen. They're all
Luna Dude drops. Got a straight bear emoji. Member for 6 months.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Very
you loving straight bears. I'll add some more now that we have more of a long-term membership.
Oh situation. Yeah. We both have our Amazon lists, which are like, for me, it's like a vision board.
I have someone to thank. Speaking of, go ahead, keep talking.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my vision board of my wish list. I mean, there are some things on there that I actually need, like, poop bags. I need poop bags. I always need poop bags. And that's for the dog, not for me. I desperately need a pair of earbuds because these are on their way out. This will be my third pair. They're knockoff. They're not like Apple, and they just don't last very long. So there's a few things that I need, but mostly like stuff that I want, that I can see in my life. And you guys have been so generous. Like somebody, I can't even remember who did it for us, but we both were gifted the Blackstone, the
Wild.
Frosé machine, the Keurig.
I put
it's
mine is a
wild to me.
joke. My Amazon list is a joke. I don't
know,
expect
I know.
anything. And I don't think it. So I just put stuff on it that like I want, but would never buy for myself. So I just want to thank Donna, who sent me a patio umbrella
Donna.
and one of those
Yeah,
propane
Donna.
heaters for my deck. Like they
Oh, was
have
that
at
the
restaurants.
Oh,
No.
the propane.
Oh, someone also sent me the tiny solo stove, which was really
Donna sent me the double Keurig I wanted, as well as a box of 72 Starbucks K-cups and my warming mug for my desk. Donna.
sweet. If you want to send us stuff that's not on our list, there's a PO box on the oh, someone wants a clut emoji. I'll give you guys a clut emoji.
Miss Jessica said, Mel, if you enjoy pooping in bags, it's okay to tell
You
us.
do. You like pooping in bags.
I mean, what
That's
else
your
am I supposed to
favorite.
do when I'm locked in the pod for 2 hours on this stream? You think I'm not wearing a diaper?
Your life partner just walked in with her side view mirror in her hand while you were taping this podcast. I love this.
We have a good sense of humor about these kinds of things.
I know. Well,
Everything's fine.
Everything will be fine. As long as she's fine. As long as she's not hurt. It's just a car.
Yeah, it's just a car. We got this. When things like this happen, it's like...
And Mel's just like, you know what? It wasn't my car. No, it's even finer. I know you love your car. I know you do.
I love my car.
I know you do. I love my car too. I'd be out of my mind if that happened to me. I would not be taking it as well as you guys are.
Listen,
I so love my car.
This is the very first ever, and I'm 50 years old. This is the first car that I ever owned that was literally brand spanking new the year I bought it. And it had like 5 miles on it when I bought it. It's the very, and I didn't buy it. It's a lease, but you know, that wasn't me tooting, by the way. That was my phone dragging across my desk.
No, that was a milk fart. We know it was.
It was not a milk fart.
Milk fart.
I don't really drink milk. But,
milk farts.
I have a couple more people to thank. Nancy, thank you for the $25. Said, thanks for covering this. It's brutal. And the mocking of, hold on, I got to look at this. Hold on. We said Georgia Cat Mom, thank you. Nancy Madden, thanks for the $25. Said thanks for covering this. It's brutal, and the mocking of mania and psychosis is disgusting. They are both very real. And then MSV USMC, who has been very generous this week. Thank you very much,
You're
lady.
Generous, MSCV USMC.
Just tipped us another $20 and said I did, but called Nan, but got. Tipped us and then said, I did tip you, but then I got called Nan. No, we weren't calling you Nan.
And we were just worried that you were. We were secretly worried because you were so generous and we don't know who you are. Generous. Yeah. Miss Jessica NB says you could fart in the bags and sell it, Mel.
We talked about that the other day. Well, we weren't talking about farts though. We were talking about pubic hair on someone's underwear, and they used to sell it on the cam girls. You and I talked about this, the cam girls.
I know, and I don't like it.
You said that we were like cam girls.
We are, but I don't like that conversation.
And Miss Jessica said, okay, I'm done talking about bodily functions.
So am I.
Okay. And on that note, we love you all very much. And we will see you here tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Though you might see me a little bit earlier by myself. Okay.
It's 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night.
Ya.
We're Crossroads.
Bye. I got to go deal with the car situation.
Goodbye. Bye.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, allegedly. I'm Smart.
Happy Monday, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie. Happy gay summer, Mel.
Happy hump day, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm not humping anybody. I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
Happy Saturday, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
Oh, no.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and my mic is muted.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and that's Briscoe.
And welcome to Something's Off, a true crime podcast where we swat the haters aside with our astute takes and humor and joy. And
the joylessness
I don't give
of those
a fucking
people.
Hags.
You hear it first in the break in the story. One little crack and the whole thing gets wary. A witness swears, but the timeline bends. A smile too smooth and the trail just ends. shadow line running through the room. Something's off, something's off. You can feel it in the bones. Something's off, something's off. When the facts won't come home. Something's off, something's off. And the case won't stay in place. Something's off. We're the ones who chase.
This is
Pull it,
literally
Jimmy.
because it's 100. It's been happening for the past like day.
Oh dear God. Everywhere's a hotspot when Dr. Wolf is on the TV. Am I right? Everywhere's a hotspot when Dr. Wolf is on the TV. I'm sorry. This is very funny.
What are you laughing about?
Because you're just sitting there waiting for the video to start.
I was listening this whole time. You
listening to what? You're not playing anything, and now you're frozen. God, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me text Mel. Let me call Mel real quick. I'm gonna call Mel.
No, I'm not answering your call. I'm not doing it.
I don't think.
Why is it? Oh, Jesus.
Maybe go back on the Wi-Fi.
I am back on the Wi-Fi. Can you hear me now? Should we do the show now? Should we do the show now? Rebecca? Rebecca, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Internet. Hello.
Hello? Hello, worldwide interwebs. Can you hear me? Let's do this. I have to look at my phone over here.
We're gonna go members only.
Something's off. We're the ones who chase. Yeah, we're the ones who chase. Wait, did that witness just blink 3 times? Something's off.